After the first discriminated sensation, or percept, Miss Rand observes, man's subsequent knowledge adds nothing to the basic facts designated by the terms existence, identity, consciousness. Subsequent knowledge makes the explicit conceptual identification of these facts possible. But the facts themselves, which are the data or constituents later to be integrated into the concepts, are present to and from the first such awareness. It is in this sense that a knowledge of axioms is implicit from the beginning. It is this implicit knowledge, Miss Rand holds, that permits man's consciousness to develop further. Being implicit from the beginning, existence, consciousness, and identity are outside the province of proof. Proof is the derivation of a conclusion from antecedent knowledge, and nothing is antecedent to axioms. Axioms are the starting points of cognition, on which all proofs depend. One knows that the axioms are true not by inference of any kind, but by sense perception. When one perceives a tomato, for example, there is no evidence that it exists beyond the fact that one perceives it. There is no evidence that it is something beyond the fact that one perceives it. And there is no evidence that one is aware beyond the fact that one is perceiving it. Axioms are perceptual self-evidencies. There is nothing to be said in their behalf except, look at reality. What is true of tomatoes applies equally to oranges, buildings, people, music, and stars. What philosophy does is to give an abstract statement of such self-evident facts. Philosophy states these facts in universal form. Whatever exists, exists. Whatever exists is what it is. In whatever form one is aware, one is aware. The above is the validation of the objectivist axioms. Validation I take to be a broader term than proof, one that subsumes any process of establishing an idea's relationship to reality, whether deductive reasoning, inductive reasoning, or perceptual self-evidence. In this sense, one can and must validate every item of knowledge, including axioms. The validation of axioms, however, is the simplest of all: sense perception. The fact that axioms are available to perception does not mean that all human beings accept or even grasp axioms in conscious, conceptual terms. Vast numbers of men, such as primitives, never progress beyond implicit knowledge of the axioms. Lacking explicit philosophic identification of this knowledge, they have no way to adhere to the axioms consistently, and typically fall into some form of contradicting the self-evident, as in the various magical world views, which, implicitly, deny the law of identity. Such men stunt their minds by subjecting themselves to an undeclared epistemological civil war. The war pits their professed outlook on the world against the implicit knowledge on which they are actually counting in order to survive. Even lower are the men of an advanced civilization who, thanks to the work of a genius such as Aristotle, know the explicit identification of axioms, then consciously reject them. A declared inner war, i.e., deliberate, systematic self-contradiction, is the essence of the intellectual life of such individuals. Examples include those philosophers of the past 2 centuries who reject the very idea of the self-evident as the base of knowledge, and who then repudiate all 3 of the basic axioms, attacking them as arbitrary postulates, linguistic conventions, or Western prejudice.